never appeared to be a crazy person. This was not. He was out to do harm.
And looking back on it, what gave you that impression that it could be a madman?
Just the way he moved.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to CRIMETOBER. Tonight's story takes us to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Halloween 1992, when two teenagers dressed in a costume, one wrong address, and a man's fears that turned deadly. This is the story of Yoshihiro Hattori, also known as Yoshi, a foreign exchange student that was super excited to celebrate Halloween. Yoshihiro Hattori, also known as Yoshi, which we will be saying because I do not want to butcher this young man's name, y'all, was 16 years old, and he was a foreign exchange student from Japan. He had moved with the Haymaker family in the summer of 1992 and had been living with them for several months. The Haymaker family resided in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Haymaker family had always taken foreign exchange students, so this was nothing new for them when they had Yoshi come to their home. He also made a really good impression. He was just full of life. And that's what has been stated about him. They said he was a full of life young man, very courageous, very curious, especially about American culture and our music, football, the holidays, especially Halloween. So when the Haymaker's son, Webb Haymaker, and Yoshi was invited to a Halloween party, they were super excited to bring out their best. So on October 17th, 1992, Yoshi and Webb were super excited about this Halloween party.
My room, Yoshi walks in and says, "Mom, can you help me with this outfit?" He's just all excited and ready to go because he's going to be John Travolta. It was very upbeat.
Yoshi, dressing up as the John Travolta character in Saturday Night Fever, wore a white tuxedo jacket.
So Yoshi dressed as John Travolta when he wore that white tuxedo in Sunday Night Fever. And Webb wore a neck brace with a Hawaiian shirt. It was a last-minute costume that he had thrown together. So using the address that they were given, they drive up to a suburban area in Baton Rouge, and they're excited. They're laughing. They're hoping to hear, music, something of a party. But unfortunately for them, they did not have the correct address. So they walk up to the house and they walk up to the home of Rodney Pierce and his wife. They were both in their house watching TV on this night. And so the young boys ring the doorbell. And when she approaches the door, she opens the door, sees them in their costume.
I put my house coat on and I went to answer the door. I turned on the porch light and looked out through the blinds.
We heard them at the side door because they were clanking the blinds. So we walked towards the side door.
And then I opened the door and I saw a person. He was all bandaged up like he'd been in a car wreck. I didn't know what kind of help they needed.
It was Webb who was all bandaged up. He was wearing this collar because of a neck injury, and for his Halloween costume, he had added a bandage to his head.
Then all of a sudden, a second person came from around the corner real fast. And I'd say within a second or two, something just told me this isn't right.
So like I said, when she opened the door, she sees them in their costumes and she automatically assumes that they are intruders. I don't know why she would think that they're intruders, even though it may not officially be Halloween, but I don't understand that. And so she calls for her husband to get the gun. Yeah, where's your patience at? I mean, I get it, but child. So moments later, they walk into the driveway and they're confused because they're like, okay, well, I thought we were going to a party. Turns out they had the wrong number. So Rodney comes out with a .44 Magnum revolver and he's telling them to freeze. Now, Yoshi is not from America. He is a foreign exchange student learning more about American culture, and English is not his first language. So, of course, he may not understand when you say a certain word. So, Rodney is saying freeze, pointing the gun. Yoshi has his hands up and he's walking towards Rodney. And then, next thing you know, he shoots Yoshi right in the chest. And Webb runs to a neighbor to go and get help because he just could not believe what had just transpired. So when police arrive, they meet a distraught Webb, they meet a distraught the peers, and Yoshi's body, apparently dead. And Rodney tells the police that they thought they were burglars, but they didn't have any weapons on them. The only thing that they had was a camera and a piece of paper with the address of where they were supposed to go.
This was a 145-pound kid with a big smile on his face, wearing a white tuxedo. Does that sound like someone who is going to come around and do you harm?
I knew he had what appeared to be a white jacket on, is what I testified to. Other than knowing any more, I didn't. I didn't have time. So I was focusing, trying to see what was in his hand.
This camera is what Yoshi had in his hand, but in the heat of the moment, Rodney feared it could be a gun. So he ordered Yoshi to freeze, but he didn't stop. Many believe that Yoshi, because of the language barrier, didn't understand what Rodney meant.
We may have thought that it was a Halloween prank, that it was part of the party.
This case had shook Baton Rouge because what is happening? So Rodney was charged with manslaughter. The prosecutors believed that Yoshi did not pose any threat. He did not have a weapon. He was just simply there to go to a party. So they said Rodney acted very recklessly. He was driven by panic and racial fear. So at the trial, Rodney defense says that he was afraid for his life. He assumed that they were burglars, and that is why the situation happened. So in 1993, Rodney Pierce was found not guilty. Yeah, not guilty, y'all. The verdict had caused a lot of outrage, especially in Japan. To many, it symbolized the wrongdoings about American gun laws and how this trial could have went, but it was based on fear of evidence. And no matter what, I think that he should have been charged because they didn't do anything wrong. These two boys didn't do anything wrong, and one of them unfortunately lost their lives. So Yoshi's host parents did not let his death be forgotten. They spoke up about gun laws. They became advocates for gun safety reform and cultural understanding.
We often wished that we'd had a French boy or a Norwegian boy, because I'm not so sure that boy would have been shot.
In what way? Do you think it contributed to her fear?
Yeah.
Looking outside and seeing an unfamiliar face?
Yeah, she said, I knew he was darker than me.
At the trial, while giving a description of Yoshi, Bonnie testified that, quote, I guess he appeared Oriental. He could have been Mexican or whatever. And, quote, he was taller than me and his skin was darker colored.
Now think of what happened. The moment Bonnie saw Webb, she thought nothing was unusual. She then saw Yoshi, and within a half a second, the door was slammed and get your gun.
His real parents in Japan showed a tremendous amount of grace. They even came and visit the haymakers, to kind of like forgive them because their child died in their care. And they actually did forgive them from what I read. I'm not 100% sure of that, but from my understanding, they did. They also won a civil suit against the peers. Yes, so they also won a civil suit against the peers, which they end up donating to gun laws and to keep our youth and children safe. Yoshi was just 16 years old. He didn't speak perfect English, but he was super excited and curious about American culture. And it's very sad and unfortunate that he lost his life due to someone that had fear, and all they had to do was just ask those young men. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all they had to do. But instead of that, they had fear, grabbed a weapon, and decided to talk later. Makes zero sense. So let me know what you think about today's episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This was a sad story, but it's a reminder, like I just said, that Please be safe on Halloween, and not even just Halloween, because this didn't occur on Halloween night, but the days leading up, because people are going to have parties. Be safe.